Hello, Nicholas.
Hello, Sergeant.
Edgar Howard Wright was born in Poole on April 18, 1974, and spent most of his formative years there. Peter Wilde, the theatre instructor at his school, later appeared in the movie Hot Fuzz.
I couldn't see the view anymore. Was he mumbo?
Right. What did he say?
Said edge is edge, huh? He only chopped him down because he couldn't see the view no more. What's he mumbo?
What did he say?
He said an edge is an edge. He only chopped it down because it spoiled his view. What's Reaper moaning about?
Oscar, his older brother, is also an artist from 1985. Until 1982, he attended the Blue School in Wells.
Kim! We are Saxman Bomb, and we are here to watch Scott Pilgrim kick your teeth in! 1, 2, 3, 4! Edgar,
Then 12 years old, brought a date to the 1987 movie Mannequin, but was prevented from kissing her by a group of boys. The relationship ended as a result, and the heartache Wright felt would later be crucial to his professional success.
And by the way, I can't believe you asked Ramona out after I specifically told you not to do that.
How are you doing that with your mouth?
Scott Pilgrim is a comic series created by Brian Lee O'Malley. In March 2009, production began to create a movie based on the beloved comic. The director of this was, of course, the one and only Edgar Wright. The original comic series for Scott Pilgrim strands across 6 long volumes. Because of this, and also the fact that the production began during the midpoint of the comics, the movie had to cut and simplify a lot of the original series' content and plot. This meant that some of the characters from the comic were never present, as Scott's backstory was never really delved into. Scott Pilgrim is a 23-year-old from the mysterious land of Toronto, Canada. He hangs around with the sarcastic Kim Pine and the talented Stephen Stills, and they all share a band called Sex Bomb. Since Scott is an unemployed nobody, he's forced to live with his cool gay roommate Wallace Wells.
This is my cool gay roommate, Wallace Wells.
Hi.
He's gay.
Just like the comic, Wallace manages to carry the entire movie just by being the best character.
Guess who's drunk? I guess Wallace.
You guessed right.
They both live in a small single-room apartment, which just so happens to be directly opposite his old house. Throughout the story, he fights to be with the mysterious American girl Ramona Flowers. To do this, he has to defeat her 7 evil exes before he can claim his true love. However, he also has to face things such as a dying band, a tragic past, and an obsessive Chinese girl named Knives Chow, whom Scott was cheating on. By the climax of the story, Scott faces his problems and dark side head-on to not only get the girl, but become a much better person. A lot of Edgar Wright's iconic style is easily noticeable within the movie, mostly including a range of unique transitions and quick camera movements. A lot of this information is actually taken from a creator on YouTube called NerdWriter1, specifically from this video, so the information presented here will just be relayed from his video. Wright's transitions are very full of life, melted together expertly using diegetic moving objects and sound effects. These transitions are so seamless that they momentarily trick the human brain into not registering the transition even happening. Wright also expertly makes use of shots in which the reverse shots are matched in framing but set in a completely different location. This allows you to engage with the next area before you realise that you've even left the last one. These transitions blend with Scott's personality and mood very well, as thinking back on these sequences, it's hard to remember all these areas as distinct, which is exactly what Scott's feeling. In conclusion, the overall effect of Edgar Wright's style in this movie influences you to be a more observant viewer, some transitions being hidden during the first watch and more visible the second time. This of course persuades you to give the movie a couple rewatches and or recommend it to a relative or friend. It really takes a story about a guy defeating an army of ex-boyfriends and makes it so much more interesting simply through transitions and camera movements.
The film is about a young man called Baby who creates remixes of his life. Much like Baby turns the world around him into music, director Edgar Wright remixes the movies that have influenced him into the thrilling and entertaining Baby Driver.
What is your name?
Baby.
Your name's Baby. B-A-B-Y, Baby.
Baby Driver is an action-packed film written and directed by Edgar Wright and released in North America and the United Kingdom on June 28, 2017. Although being released in 2017, Edgar thought of the idea in his youth and developed it for over 2 decades. He got the idea for Baby Driver as a young man, and his directing experience has helped him shape his ambitions for
Far back as the TV show that I did before Shaun of the Dead, Spaced, I remember somebody saying something about that show which really stuck with me. They said, oh, the characters are all really easy to draw. And I was thinking, oh, that's an interesting way to put it. And from that point on, in all of my movies, and Baby Driver being no exception, always looking to kind of colour code the characters.
Critics have explored Baby Driver's themes in the film studies, focusing on the use of colour symbolism and baby's morality. Wright changed the setting of the movie from Los Angeles to Atlanta in order to create a more accurate portrayal of the city's culture. There's a remarkably old-fashioned sensibility to the way Wright structures and details his film that is shown in Baby Driver. Baby Driver is a high-concept film that never underwhelms in detail. Some of your favourite actors are in supporting roles in this movie.
She a good girl? You love her? Yes, I do. That's too bad.
Shaun of the Dead was released in 2004 and was Wright's second feature-length film in which he uses his unique style in order to tell his audience a story about an electronic salesman from London trying to survive the zombie apocalypse whilst fixing his broken relationships.
Although no one official is prepared to comment, religious groups are calling it Judgment Day.
In the film, he uses his signature fast editing style to create deep pan humour, give energy to sequences that would otherwise be mundane and slow, and make heavily stylized action scenes.
It's time at the bar!